Hey everyone, I wanted to show you something I've been working on that I'm really excited about. And we're having our first Cochise County Freedom Tech Meetup tonight. And in preparation for that, I've been setting up some services locally on a server running in my house. So, this website that you're seeing, the files are actually stored on a computer in my house. And I have one of these servers that's made by Start9, and it's designed to host your own services. So you can buy hardware from them, or you can also just install it. It's a free open source operating system called StartOS, and you can use whatever hardware you want. And it comes with this really nice interface where you can install different apps. They have a marketplace of there's different marketplaces. This one is maintained by the company Start9, and a lot of these apps are privacy focused. There's also a lot of Bitcoin related apps on here. You can run a Bitcoin node if you want to, and there's also a Nostr relay here, which I'll talk about. And they have this app to host a static website called Pages, and so that's what I'm using to host this website. So I'll just show you the setup that I have here. These are all of the services that I have installed on the server, and so again, you can see the interface is really easy to use. This Start9 Pages is what is running the website. So the way that works is you basically configure where on your server you want to serve the website files from. And so that happens in here. And you can use one of two file management systems. The one I'm using is Nextcloud. And that basically just makes a file system on the server. And then Start9 Pages will serve the website from the directory that I specified. So now, how do you actually make this accessible to the public? I took screenshots of that configuration because some of these URLs are my actual public IP address. But pretty much you'll be able to say you're using this website service. You'll be able to access the site locally on something like some URL that will be like start9.local and then a port. And so you can see your site there. If you want to expose it to the public, you can do that directly from your home IP address. That's not the most private solution because then everybody visiting the site will just see your personal IP address. So they actually have a solution for that, which is the StartTunnel software, which basically you rent a VPS, which is a virtual private server. So you would rent that from any hosting company, and then you just need a really minimal VPS. So the one I got is like $2 a month, and you just only install this StartTunnel software, which then creates a private tunnel back to the server running in my house. So anybody visiting this website will only see the public IP address of the VPS. They'll never see my own IP address. And it's all integrated really nicely with StartOS. So so that's this down here is this StartTunnel configuration. And when you set up StartTunnel, you basically get, this is another configuration within Start9. You can configure your gateways, which is basically different outbound connections. So again, if I use the wired connection and made that public, that would be through my own IP address. But if I'm using StartTunnel, now that's getting routed through this VPS. So that gives you a public IP address that's not yours. But then what I also did was you can click add domain here, and then I own this cochesefreedom.tech domain. So I added that domain here in Start9, and then I went to my DNS and I made an entry to point that to the public IP of my VPS, which is working really well. The issue or trade-off, as they explain in the StartTunnel documentation, is that um, this anybody visiting this site, they're just going to hit this one specific VPS that I am renting, which is in California. So like the speeds for where I live in Cochise County are really fast. If you're like on the other side of the world, that's going to take a long time. And then this is also vulnerable to a DDoS attack, which is a distributed denial of service attack. So pretty much anybody who wanted to just bombard the server with requests, like the server would get overwhelmed and that would shut the site down. So I was looking into putting this on a content delivery network, which would then be able to tap into like a global network of servers and they have DDoS protection with that. So it's just there's kind of a lot of configuration involved, and I just wanted to get this up and running before the meetup. So that's the basic architecture of this website. The other cool thing that I did was I'm also, the source of this website is all in Git, and I'm hosting the code also locally on Start9. So that's what you're looking at here, and this is the Forge Joe service in Start9, and it's basically a Git. It's a self-hosted Git software. So all the code is hosted on my server here in my house, and I also this took some time, but I did set up this deployment script where it will, when I merge in changes, it will actually deploy to the Nextcloud instance on the Start9 server. So it's all automated when I merge in changes to the main branch here. And the reason I did this was, I mean, it would be really cool, like, only so many people are located here in Cochise County, but I know there's a lot of like-minded people out there on Nostr and in the Bitcoin world. And what I see this meetup turning into potentially is like we could make a template for how to become like free and independent on a community level with our digital communications and interactions. So what I would like to see long term is for really talented technical people out there to be able to contribute like how-to guides. I still want to look into setting up like a mesh network, and I know there's a lot of people out there more knowledgeable about that than I am, and so I have a blog on the website here, and it would be great to have like more documentation or how-to kind of stuff. So that's why I made this an open source project, and I put some instructions on here for contributing. It's the standard like workflow where you would just fork the repo. So you'd have to make a sign in. You'd have to make an account here on my my local Git instance. So self-hosting all this stuff has trade-offs because now there's people making accounts and writing code and uploading anything to the server here, which that's just the trade-off. That's something that I have to manage and be aware of, and I guess I'm just trusting that people won't abuse this, but inevitably, I guess things will happen. So I don't know. It's a big experiment. We'll see what happens with this long term. The other thing I'm running here is a Nostr relay, which I will be sharing with people at the meetup tonight. And it's just cool because now when you post to Nostr, which is a social media protocol, you can configure your relays, and there's big public ones out there that are run by like the big Nostr clients, which include like Primal and Damus and some other ones. But I have a locally hosted relay, and I made a post to it this morning from this Nostr account that I set up. So that's all pretty cool. Again, I was just setting all this up in the last few days, and I'm really excited for the meetup tonight to see what people think about all this and see if this will actually be useful or not. So I hope that this will be like an interesting thing, and maybe people can start to see some possibilities just for self-hosting apps. This all becomes a lot more resilient the more people that are involved. And again, if I'm using a technology like a CDN or something, we could kind of distribute this among several servers. So like multiple people maybe could be hosting copies of the website or whatever. that's kind of the interesting things to think about. Like, how do we become more resilient, but as a community and kind of in a peer-to-peer way? Like, I like the Bitcoin model where it's just kind of anyone can plug in and plug out whenever they want with their Bitcoin nodes, and that's what keeps the network going. So lots of things to look into, but this is a really exciting start. And let me know what you think. And if you're a developer and knowledgeable about this stuff, like, let me know if you have any tips or tricks, or want to contribute something. So that's it for now. I'm looking forward to seeing people at the meetup tonight. And if you can't make it, I think I will be posting like a how-to guide just to join us on Nostr after the fact, so everyone can join in on the fun. So that's it for now, and I will talk to you later.